Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with newsmakers themselves. Sitting in for Pinky Webb, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Today on the program, a House panel will investigate the widespread oil spill in Mindoro. The chairperson of the House Committee on Natural Resources, Representative Elpidio Barzaga, joins us live. And later, the Philippine government appeals the resumption of the investigation into the war on drugs by the International Criminal Court. We look into the impact of the ICC's arrest warrant against Russian President Vladimir Putin to its probe in the Philippines. The Secretary General of the National Union of People's Lawyers, NCR, and ICC Assistant to Counsel Cristina Conti will join us later. The oil spill caused by the sunken tanker MT Princess Empress spreads to more parts of Mindoro. Oriental Mindoro Governor Bons Dolor says it has affected over 100,000 residents from 15 barangays in Calapan. It is also posing problems in their livelihood.
Oriental Mindoro is known also na naglalabas ng mga pagkain dagat. Kaya lang because of the oil spill, malaki pong epekto talaga nito sa local na industriya at doon sa export namin na ginagawa palabas ng Mindoro.
A House panel is set to investigate the widespread oil spill. Let's go straight to the source of the story. House Natural Resources Committee Chairperson, Representative Elpidio Barzaga. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning also, Mai Rodriguez.
So, Congressman, as chairperson of the committee, when do you plan to set the hearing and who would you invite to this investigation?
Well, I would like to emphasize that we shall be having our break this coming week. And therefore, in all likelihood, our hearings will commence at the time that we resume our sessions in May of this year. Of course, we will be inviting all the resource persons which we think could shed light on this incident. Number one, we have to invite the Philippine Coast Guard. We have to invite the Marina. We have to invite as much as possible the captain of the vessel, because as of now, the vessel of MT Princess Express has not yet surfaced. As a lawyer, I believe that he is the one who has the A1 and direct information regarding the cause of the sinking. We have to invite also the affected areas, especially the public officials, including our fishermen, including other persons whose livelihood are dependent upon our marine resources.
Of course, you want to find out the accounts also of the crew members and the captain in particular, but you said he hasn't surfaced as of yet. Congressman, do we have any leads as to his whereabouts in captain po?
Well, actually, we don't have any lead. As a matter of fact, not even the owners of the vessel have stated whether or not the ship captain as well as the members of the crew are alive. We don't have any information about that. And also, the capacity of 800,000 liters of oil, we don't have any confirmatory evidence. Is it true that what is in the vessel is only 800,000 liters? That information came from the owners.
Mm-hmm. So, wala pa rin pong accounts from the crew, from the captain, and we don't have any leads as to their whereabouts. So, Congressman, where should we start?
Well, of course, we will start, number one, with the cause of the oil spill. Ano ba ang dahilan at nagkaroon ng oil spill? And up to now, we don't even have any data about the ship load capacity of the sunken vessel. Hindi natin alam kung ano ang maximum load or number of liters na pwedeng ikarga dyan sa oil tanker. We don't have any confirmatory evidence about the so-called 800,000 liters. Perhaps even it may even be more.
Well, the Senate already started its investigation, which uncovered inconsistencies in the issuance of a certificate of public convenience for the tanker MT Princess Empress. But the Marina and the Philippine Coast Guard have varying explanations. Your thoughts on this?
Well, it is really very sad that two agencies of the government are singing different tunes insofar as this strategy is concerned. According to Marina, the sunken vessel, Princess Express, does not have an amended certificate of public convenience and therefore it did not have the authority to sail. On the other hand, according to the Philippine Coast Guard, it has an amended certificate of public convenience and it authorizes the vessel to sail in the high seas and also within Philippine waters.
So doon pa lang may inconsistencies na.
Yes, definitely. And we want to find out who between the two agencies of the government who would be actually the one regulating this incident or the vessel is telling the truth. And from this, we can just determine the documents which shall be presented by them in the course of our public hearing.
All right. How should we get to the bottom of this issue? Do you see any potential cover-up, Congressman?
Well, I don't think that there will be a potential cover-up. The DOJ has also stated that it is already starting its own investigation, and surprisingly, our kababayan Secretary Remulla has stated that M. Princess Express is actually a rebuilt scrap ship. It was actually intended as a liquefied gas carrier and then reworked to be a motor tanker. So talagang from the face of the tanker, talagang sabi nga nila, scrap na to. So there would be actually negligence. There is actually negligence on the part of the owners and also on the part of the government agencies kung bakit hinayaang tumakbo to sa dagat.
So it's a rebuilt scrap ship and therefore ang tanong bakit may permit to operate? Bakit pa siya, di ba, why is it allowed to set sail?
And yes, and that is the $64 question. So we have to look into the bottom of this. We want that this incident will serve a warning and a lesson to all our ship owners that if the ship is not seaworthy, it should not be sailing, and this will be also a warning to our government agencies that they should not be remiss or negligent in the performance of their official duties. Because the damage is devastating, it's really very big, it cannot be cured in 1 or 2 years, and it affects the livelihood of more than 100,000 kababayan natin.
Up to now, Congressman, no one is held accountable for this spill. Environmental experts say extensive damage from this oil spill would be felt for decades. Now, should charges be filed immediately?
Well, definitely, the DOJ is conducting its investigation, and therefore, I'm very sure that the DOJ will be filing the appropriate charges for the violation of special laws as well as criminal negligence. On the other hand, insofar as the House and the Senate are concerned, we are not filing charges. We are just investigating in aid of legislation to find out what would be the necessary legislation which we have to make in order to deter or prevent the same incidents in the future.
Congressman, what kind of legislation do you see in light of this incident after your investigation?
Well, number one, based on what we have been hearing, I think we have to put the necessary penalty in case government agencies like the Philippine Coast Guard or the Marina should be negligent in the performance of their obligations. Number two, criminal liability shall be imposed also upon the owners of the ship vessel. Number three, we have to take into consideration that adequate insurance must be secured by any vessel before it may be permitted to sail in the sea. And number four, there should be some ban, indemnity ban, in case that incidents like this will happen. These are some of the possible legislations which right now I am thinking, and of course, as the investigation starts and progresses, possibly we might be able to think of some further legislation in order to prevent this incident.
Congressman, are these new laws po or are these amendments?
Yes, this would be amendments. In the event that we find out in the event that we shall find out that the existing legislation will not be sufficient.
And you also said you're seeing negligence on the part of our government agencies. What sort of charges do you think should they be facing?
Well, under present laws, negligence on the part of government officials would be a criminal act, and therefore a complaint can be filed before the ombudsman and possibly elevated to the Sandigan Bayan.
All right, we have lots of things to talk about still, but we have to take a short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Mai Rodriguez. We're still talking about the oil spill in Mindoro. Our source today, House Natural Resources Committee Chairperson, Representative Elpidio Barzaga. Congressman, ang sabi po ni Paula Town Mayor Jennifer Cruz, she said there's a lack of long-term plans from the owner of the oil tanker. Now, how should the government address this?
Well, we can provide in the legislation that there would be definite planning on the part of the ship owners before the vessel should be permitted to sail. Because right now we have seen the serious violations. The amended certificate of public convenience issued by the Marina, and it has been also stated that the Philippine Coast Guard was not able to check the pre-departure checklist for MT Princess Express showed that 7 boxes were unticked, including the CPC requirement. And this is the job of the Philippine Coast Guard. Why did this happen? So kinakailangan talaga, we have to verify. We have seen our experience regarding the sinking of MV Doña Paz. But in this particular case, we have seen also and anticipated what would be the extent of the damage of the oil spill, and which right now has not yet been effectively contained. The possibility of spreading in other areas is not remote. As a matter of fact, environmentalists are saying that we have to contain the oil spill before the amihan season starts. And whatever we do, the containment of the oil spill, the oil will still be in the water and it will be affecting marine life.
Congressman, naniniwala po ba kayo na kaya i-cover ng company ang cost nitong oil spill?
Well, I don't believe. Because right now, we do not see any great help coming from the owners. They are even saying that they are a small company. But they are bragging that they have a 1 billion insurance insofar as the vessel is concerned. Sa akin namang pag-iisip, kung talagang may 1 billion insurance sila at siguradong makukuha nila, why don't they advance the money?
So it is clear that this oil spill has exposed weaknesses in our disaster response. We are ill-equipped in responding to threats to our aquatic resources. Ang sabi po ni Agri Party List Representative Wilbert Lee, he will ask for, or we should ask for more funding for oil spill containment equipment in the next budget hearing. Your reaction to this, Congressman?
Well, definitely, experience is the best teacher. And therefore, experience has shown that we are not prepared for a calamity like this. And therefore, definitely, it is a welcome development if we shall be providing funding insofar as this issue is concerned, because we know the importance of the environment, most especially marine life.
All right, thank you for your time this morning. House Natural Resources Committee Chairperson, Representative Elpidio Barzaga. We will be taking a short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Stay tuned.